Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California, and you'll see where I was 15 minutes ago. So I'm having my morning coffee and I'm coming through the truck bed. Look at that. I'm gonna take you through here. Oh my goodness, there is a zucchini back there. That is giant. I gotta get that off. Now, this is a weed. We can just pull this weed and I could just leave it. I could either, I'm putting some of the weeds here. I could leave it here and cover it with some wood chips and it will break down. Pick some Swiss chard, and I'm debating on either making a green drink or eggs with greens. You know, I think I might go with eggs with greens. Of course, I can tell you that and get in the house and change my mind. What else has to come out back here? Let's see. I thought I saw something else. This is more grass. We don't want grass. Just put the grass. I'll leave it. I'm not 100% sure what this is, so we'll leave it right now. It could be eggplant. You know, I could have thrown some seeds in here. There is, let's see, nothing else there. Very little powdery mildew here. Here's a little bit. And it's just, again, the dampness. Every plant is different. Let's see if I could walk around this radish thing that went to seed. Gary loves eating these things. They taste so good, and the flowers. So I leave that right now. And that's pretty much it. I picked, I think, enough greens for us. Might grab a couple more. See what's over here. I think this is I'm not sure, a tomatillo or bush beans. Again, I put things in. This I know is Korean melon. Let's see what's in here. Lots of, oh my goodness, another one. Okay, I didn't know that the big one was on the other side with a whole bunch more. Obviously, they're hybrids. I have some I had last year that were round like bowling balls and as sweet as sugar, and I want to make cakes out of them. They were so good. And this, obviously, is a hybrid. I saved some delicata seeds. Some grew true, but this looks like it's a cross between a delicata. See, I even have it labeled. I think it's a cross between a delicata and a spaghetti squash. That should be interesting. They both taste good, I guess. Gary doesn't like spaghetti squash. I don't know. We'll have to try. Oh, I see a vine. And I don't want that. I don't know what it is, and I don't want it. And some of these vines, once they start, you can't get rid of them. So I don't. This is a zucchini that is not growing. It might be shaded out. There's another one there. I don't know. I planted it, and it is from a seed that I bought. Maybe it's the ones that, like, these are seeds I collected. Oh my gosh, there's so much in there. Look. Oops, sorry. Look at that. Little bit of blossom end rot on that, but you know what? Still good to eat. If I thought it wasn't going to grow, I'd pull it and use it. Because the small ones with blossom end rot, I grab them and add them into my eggs. So I'll see. Because I'm not sure if it's just... You know what? It's growing. I'm going to leave that. If it looks like it starts to have issues, I'll take it off. And take it off anytime. And then you don't throw those away. You eat them. Just like if you have some female zucchini or squash that you don't have male flowers and they don't fertilize, you eat them. I think that's it for now. I'm going to go in and make something. Isn't that beautiful? That's the color of the leaf. That is not powdery mildew. That is the color, which is usually something like delicata, which is interesting that this is leaving like delicata. See the tendrils? It is going to leave, but I don't know what in the world it's growing. Too early to pick. Let's see. Yeah, it's got... I'm going to have to wait till it gets color, and then I can pick it. You store it usually a little bit so the sugars come out in it and taste really good. And then you eat it. So I'll have to wait, but I'm sure it's going to be fine. Be interesting. So that's the truck bed. This I got to plant. This came off the deck. More apple trees. All right. Really cool. I wonder if I got enough greens. And there's more squash under here. Plants that came up. This is going to be good. And there should have been another one. And maybe something got it. Oh, there's more weeds. I don't want to leave weeds in here, especially if I can get them when they're small. There's nothing wrong with it, but they're going to pull nutrition too, so I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, I guess that's it. This is not a garden accident. It's a jewelry accident. It's working with pliers. And I grabbed something and twisted and pulled it and realized I pinched myself. Oh, well. Okay, yep, I think that's it for now. Grab another leaf. Okay. Yeah, that one can come off. Plant doesn't need that. Take that off. Just leave that to the side, and I'll take this one to eat. Oh, Swiss chard, eggs fried up. That should be really good for breakfast. Yeah, and that's it. Isn't that cool? Truck bed is looking really good. Hasn't been set up that long, and it looks really, really good. I forgot to mention the yellow squash. That's the one and only yellow squash plant I have, which is here, and I've picked already some and eaten it. There's more. I want to keep picking them small. They're soft. One year I grew them and they were hard as a rock. I decided not to grow them anymore. I didn't like them. I bought them at the store and they're soft inside like a zucchini. This year I decided to try again, but the problem is my seeds are really, really old. So they were good. Now they're soft like a zucchini inside, and you can just slice them up, put them on a frying pan with a little bit of butter, a little salt and pepper if you want, and they're so good. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or add it into a rice dish. Yeah, I think I will. I'll save it for dinner. And I'll just do greens right now for breakfast. And another cup of coffee. I've got a couple of these blossom and rock. I'm going to take this off. Let's see if we can get in there. That still can be used to eat. That will go in there. Not that yellow end. Let's see how the other ones do. We'll wait and see what happens with that. But you had a little bit of squash to the greens. So I wouldn't use that end, but I can grade from this end and go about halfway down. The dogs like it. So I'm going to have to get all the flowers off. If I don't get all the flowers off and get down there, I'm going to lose my basil. I don't need that. So it's going to say, I'm done. What else is back here? How's my thyme doing? Oh, my thyme is doing really, that's interesting. This one's doing really good underneath the plant, and the one I have out in the open is doing terrible. Maybe it likes a lot of shade. Okay, I'll come back and get all the flowers off, and I'll end up composting them. And I'll put maybe a couple of the leaves into my eggs. Very simple. I've got a lettuce back here going to seed. I'm going to stake that up. And that's okay. More basil. Oh, that's the same basil. I've got sage. I don't think I want sage in my eggs. Looks beautiful. This is good. I love collecting my own seeds. They grow so good. They grow like weeds. It's just a romaine lettuce I planted once, and see, I didn't even get down there. I picked a little bit and I left it, and it can't go to seed there. Oh, well, I have a couple options. I can just lift the cage up and take it out, put it somewhere and let it go to seed. I think I will do that. And then let that one go to seed and collect the seed. I even have my sister-in-law collecting seed. She's got tulle now, and she's covering it so the birds don't eat the seeds. All right, into the house, and let's go make breakfast. Okay, I dragged the lettuce out. All I had to do was lift the cage up, and I put it back exactly the way it was. I don't want to upset the plant and think it got moved right now, in case it's really happy. But this definitely has to go up. I'm going to trellis that up a little bit. The tomato got so big, and clean that up a little bit. It doesn't need all these extra leaves. I just don't want to throw any of this stuff away, because I am making a new garden. And this is good for any garden. And this becomes soil. Just quickly clean it up. Look at that. Look at all the tomatoes on that. Then I've got my pots with my stakes, my homemade stakes, that are now holding up the tomatoes. Look at the tomatoes. Look at the tomatoes. These are important to me. I am now going to grow my own onions. So very soon, it better be very soon, I got to cover it so the black seeds on the top will be preserved so I can collect them. And in the fall, I'm going to regrow them and grow my own onions. And I don't know if there'll be any onions left to use. A lot of times once it goes to seeds, the onions aren't that good. But you know what? It might be. There's celery here. Yeah, just full of tomatoes. There'd be more, but Gary comes by here and grabs handfuls. And that's good. You don't want to just leave it there. Look, look. Here he came out. I've got a lizard living behind the chair. This is a chair, by the way. It's a chair. And then the holes are on that side of the tote, and it cascades and goes down, and it waters that tote. So if I only water the top, even if I only water the flower pot with the celery, see there's a flower pot in there, I layer. And he's peeking through. See? See? So if I watered the flower pot, it would water the tote, and if I have enough water in there, it will go down and water that tote. So everything works together here. Oh, I've got purple tomatillos back there. One little tomatillo plant. Is that cool? Purple. I don't think any of them are ready yet. Gary actually says they're sweet. Oh, there is one that's ready. Let's take that out, and we'll put that into his eggs. He'll be surprised because I think it's the first one for the season. Yeah, I'll chop it up and put it in with his eggs. Okay, I think I've got enough. I could go with onions and everything, but then I can't share a little bit with the dogs. I won't give them tomatillo, but I can give them a little bit of eggs on the side. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, now breakfast. So now I'm ready to make breakfast. I've got my pan on my little hot plate here. I'm going to turn it on. It's actually the first time I'm using this. Just bought it. Should work. We'll get this thing warm. In the meantime, here's all the greens. I've washed them, and I've got them on a strainer because even though you think there's no water in there, there might be, so I put them on a strainer. This is all the greens. There's so many different ways of doing this. I could scramble the eggs and put them all together, or I can put it on top. And I think right now, I'm just going to put it on the top. There's the basil. I'll just put that there, and then we'll come back and do something with that. Let's get it chopped up so we have it ready. Gary likes his eggs over easy, and I like my eggs scrambled. So I make them different all the time. But I like to make it where the greens are not overcooked. Because to me, I want to get more nutrients out of the greens, so I get a gentle cooking to it, but not overcooked. I change up things every single day the way I make things. This is oil. I keep that in the fridge. A little bit of oil, and I want to make sure I don't have this too hot. And then I can just put a little oil. You can use butter. Sometimes I use butter. I change things up all the time. Okay, with the eggs, I'm going to do it over easy for him today because that's the way he likes it. I'll get one here. Let's set this aside for now. Eggshells go into the compost. Oh, I got a shell in there. Let's get that out. Okay. Gary always says, oh, it's okay, shells are extra calcium. Yeah, well, I don't want shells in there. Is that a shell? Nope, that's part of it. Okay, so I'm going to put all this here. Let me wipe my hands. So this will, I just dropped the shell back in. Cook slowly, and what I'm going to do, it's very simple. I'm just putting the greens on top. This way, they'll steam down. Like I said, there's different ways of doing it. Today, I'm just going to do it this way. And then we've got, this is that little squash. I'm just going to grate that on the top. You could add cheese or whatever else you want. No reason to throw away a squash that has a little bit of blossom end rock. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, we'll compost that. And that's right. I got that little purple tomatillo. Gary likes the crunch from the tomatillo. Remember, any parts that I don't use, stems or anything, this all goes in the compost. Everything goes into the compost. pepper. I might try to get it turned a little bit, just so it's the yolks are a little bit broke up. I like them where they're not solid, but like I said, everybody does it differently. I'll wash this one out and get a clean one when we're ready to eat. There's a tiny bit of salt. Love my pepper. Now we could eat it the way it is, or I could just turn the fire off and now let it do its thing. And it should be perfect. Let's take a look real quick. Oh yeah, that is perfect. It's kind of like a scrambled egg right now, but this way all the greens are cooked. I could add onions, anything I want in it. That's it. That goes squashed. This gets washed. Everything can go back in here. And we're done. We're all ready to eat. And now I've got eggs. Fire is off, and now it's just steaming on its own. So here, I'll give you some eggs. Let me move this off. Here in a minute. Have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Back into the garden to make more soil.